Life lesson and about love. Sometimes we call love what merely fills a void. That mistake guided Emma when she met Tyler. He showed up charismatic, attentive, offering the very words she'd been missing. It felt like fate, and when something sounds too perfect, we let our guard down. Chloe, Emma's friend, noticed quick changes, short replies, missed hangouts, and the phone checked at scheduled times. "I'm focused on the new project," Emma would say. Tyler, the host of a college events group, rehearsals, themed parties, last-minute invites. "This channel is just getting started, and you can be part of this growth. Support our work so we can bring you more emotional stories like Emma's. Subscribe, share with your friends, and hit like. It truly makes all the difference as we keep going on this journey together." At first, Emma felt valued. Tyler praised her sense of aesthetics, asked for her opinion, and promised she'd be key to everything. Soon, the compliments turned into leverage. If she disagreed with a budget, he'd say she was being dramatic. If she suggested adjustments, some mysterious team supposedly preferred to leave things as they were, and that team never had names. Signs came one after another. Emails vanished, files reappeared altered, tasks assigned to Emma resurfaced as someone else's achievements. A classmate mentioned seeing Tyler in a meeting with Monique. "They must be syncing up the schedule," Emma explained away. Chloe brought the focus back to facts. Where were the messages about committee decisions? Emma realized almost everything happened through quick calls, with no written record. When she asked for documents, Tyler dodged. Bureaucracy kills creativity. Trust was part of the game. The word trust became a shield, and contradictions kept growing. At home, sacrifices multiplied. Emma dropped a course she loved to have more time for the project, postponed her birthday dinner with her parents, and swallowed comments repackaged as honesty. Each concession seemed small, but together they formed a map, the map of someone shrinking herself to fit into someone else's mold. Her feelings for Tyler remained strong, confusing admiration with illusion. Until Emma found an old spreadsheet saved under another name. The budget she had defended appeared copied, now signed by Monique. Dates matched, lines were identical, even the typo from the night before. Tyler was listed as general coordinator, though he'd claimed the position would be hers as soon as the team confirmed. The confirmation never came, the copy did. Without drama, Emma decided to test this so-called trust. She gathered screenshots, file versions with metadata, and spoke to two classmates with marginal access to the group. One said Monique had long referred to the project as hers and Tyler's. Another showed a parallel calendar with meetings she'd never been told about. The scattered pieces finally clicked into place. The lesson arrived before the anger: loving someone who limits who you are becomes a distraction. Emma might not be ready to walk away yet, but she understands losing herself would cost far more. She still had to face Tyler and walk through the hall of mirrors. For now, she re-enrolled in her course, rescheduled the dinner, and set aside time to reorganize what belongs to her. True love strengthens. What weakens you reveals the choice you must make. Life lessons teach us that love, when mistaken for dazzlement, can lead us down dangerous paths. Emma believed she'd found someone special in Tyler. He arrived at college with that magnetic aura that made everyone around stop and listen. Classmates described him as confident, intelligent, someone whose presence lit up the hallways. For Emma, seeking new experiences, meeting Tyler felt like opening the door to a fascinating world full of promises. She felt chosen, part of a nearly cinematic plot, where every gesture seemed carefully planned to enchant her. In the beginning, everything flowed lightly. There were invites to trendy parties, meetings at cafes that seemed casual but always ended with compliments aimed at her. Tyler spoke of bold projects, creative ideas, and opportunities that seemed beyond the usual student routine. He told Emma she had the missing talent, that he needed her by his side to achieve great results. For someone who until then lived a predictable cycle of classes and assignments, those words sounded like music. Emma believed she was standing before something unique, a romance worthy of a movie. But while she let herself be swept away by the charm, Chloe watched from the outside. Her longtime best friend, she knew Emma better than anyone. She could recognize the sparkle in her eyes, but also knew how to spot when that sparkle hid dangerous distractions. Chloe didn't hate Tyler, nor did she want to ruin her friend's happiness. She just couldn't ignore the multiplying signs, the absences from important commitments, the rushed replies to messages, the way Tyler always had stories ready to justify every detail that didn't add up. Emma, on the other hand, sank deeper and deeper into the fairy tale she believed she was living. To her, Tyler was perfect. If friends doubted him, she defended him. If something seemed odd, she found convincing explanations. "He's just busy," she'd say. "It's normal he can't always share everything." Chloe tried to open space for honest talks, but the barrier of enchantment was hard to break through. It was as if Emma were under the spell of a story she refused to question. With each day, Tyler took up more space. He took her to exclusive events, introduced her to people who seemed influential, and placed her in situations that made her feel indispensable. At the same time, Emma drifted away from small habits that had always been part of her life. The extra course she loved was pushed aside. The family dinner was postponed. Long talks with Chloe became rare. It wasn't a sudden change, but slow, quiet, almost invisible to someone too deeply involved. Chloe, however, saw clearly. There were moments when Tyler seemed interested only in keeping Emma busy, as if every detail were part of a planned game. Small memory lapses, contradictory information, last-minute invites, everything sounded too rehearsed. She didn't want to be the friend who ruins everything, but she also didn't want to watch Emma lose herself in exchange for empty promises. Between Emma's fairy tale and Chloe's reality stood Tyler, a young man wrapped in secrets yet to be revealed. What seemed too perfect carried invisible cracks. The illusion Emma fed was strong, but the truth was in a hurry to surface. And when it did, it would change not only how Emma saw Tyler, but also how she understood what love truly means. Small signs began to grow larger, like puzzle pieces that refused to fit. Emma's favorite blouse turned up torn inside her own backpack, and she couldn't remember any reason for it. The flowers Tyler promised to deliver never arrived, though he swore he'd ordered them. Important messages went unanswered, and when explanations finally came, they were too vague to convince. Emma tried to believe it was all due to the rush of daily life, the usual disorganization among college students, but Chloe sensed something darker taking shape. Discomforts piled up silently. With every attempt to justify the unjustifiable, Emma drifted further from reality. Outwardly, she kept smiling and insisting everything was under control. Inwardly, she collected doubts she didn't dare admit. Chloe, watching closely, noticed her friend's unease, but also knew that pressing too hard might push Emma closer to Tyler, and further from the truth. It was at a post-runway party that the tension finally overflowed. The event gathered classmates, professors, and guests, promising to celebrate everyone's creative talent. The night was supposed to be about recognition and achievements, but something felt off from the start. The carefully prepared food was served with a bitter seasoning that made several guests feel ill. Emma's outfit, the centerpiece of her presentation, simply vanished from backstage minutes before she was due to go on. Emma ran through the halls searching for answers, but everything seemed to slip through her fingers. While classmates scrambled to improvise, Tyler grew increasingly absent. He popped up in quick conversations with people Emma didn't know, avoided eye contact whenever someone asked about the missing outfit, and stayed beside her for no more than a few seconds at a time. The support she expected turned into a deafening absence. What once might have been dismissed as coincidence now revealed itself as something carefully planned. The string of setbacks wasn't bad luck, it was part of a strategy to dim Emma's shine in front of everyone. Chloe realized this immediately. Emma's distressed expression contrasted sharply with Tyler's calm demeanor, and for the first time, Emma began to feel she might not be living a dream, but a carefully constructed trap. The revelation didn't come slowly or gradually, it exploded like a bomb, dragging all of Emma's certainties to the ground. Ashley, until then seen as just another group member, was exposed in the middle of the chaos. Driven by jealousy and the desire to steal the spotlight Emma had earned, she had manipulated every detail. The torn clothes? Ashley had secretly cut them, hiding loose threads to make it look like an accident. The flowers that never arrived? She intercepted the delivery and threw them away before Emma could receive them. The poisoned dinner at the party wasn't negligence, it was meticulous sabotage, planned to turn a celebration into chaos. The discovery left everyone in shock. Classmates who had once doubted Emma now saw the truth, and every glance directed at Ashley carried outrage. But at the center of that whirlwind, Emma could only think about how she'd ignored all the signs. Chloe, beside her, didn't say, "I told you so." She just held her friend's hand, showing she was there to hold her up as everything crumbled. Tyler, for his part, could no longer keep up the mask of perfection. Pressured by stares and Emma's piercing silence, he confessed the mistake he'd made. He admitted he'd known about some of the scheming but chose to stay quiet. He said he didn't want to cause more conflict, thought it better to let time sort things out, believed it was all just minor misunderstandings. His attempt to justify himself sounded like cowardice, and Emma realized that silence had been just as destructive as the sabotage itself. Shock turned into clarity. For the first time, Emma looked at Tyler without the filters of passion. He still seemed like the charismatic guy who charmed everyone, but now he stood bare before the truth, someone who chose to protect himself instead of protecting the person he claimed to love. And that detail made all the difference. Love without courage doesn't last. The decision matured in seconds, but felt like it had been building along the entire journey. Emma took a deep breath and announced, in front of everyone, that she wouldn't stay by Tyler's side. No shouting, no dramatic tears. Just firmness. It was time to put her well-being above any romance, to accept that moving forward mattered more than clinging to an illusion of perfection. Ashley was removed from the group, facing harsh criticism and accountability. Tyler, trying to get close to Emma again, found only distance. And Chloe, who had always been nearby, once again proved that true friendship is a shield against the traps of the heart. Leaving that party, Emma didn't just carry the pain of disappointment, she carried the strength of someone choosing to start over without dragging someone else's baggage. The light they tried to extinguish was reborn as conviction. Emma understood that some stories don't need romantic endings to be transformative. The real victory was reclaiming her voice, her confidence, and above all, realizing there were people willing to stand beside her, with no secrets, no games, no conditions. In the end, Emma saw that the entire painful journey had become a lesson. She didn't need Tyler to feel whole, because her true foundation had always been within her. The love she'd searched for outside should have started within herself, in the courage to recognize her worth, in the strength to set boundaries, and in the clarity to choose who truly deserves to stay by her side. The experience, though bitter, became liberation. Emma realized that moving forward without chains was more powerful than any promise of romance. Chloe, who had so often tried to warn her, also found her own space for transformation. By supporting her friend, she revisited her own past and realized she was still carrying scars from an ex who diminished her. She decided to leave those memories behind, making room for healthier new beginnings. Ethan appeared as a possibility, but more importantly, Chloe rediscovered the freedom of not needing anyone to feel valued. The hope of new love stopped being a necessity and became a choice, born from restored self-esteem. The lesson they both took away is simple and profound: romantic love can fail, but sincere friendship remains an anchor through storms. Chloe's loyalty was the foundation that kept Emma from sinking, and Emma's journey gave Chloe the strength to cut ties with the past. Together, they showed that love doesn't mean blinding yourself, and that friendship is one of the purest, most enduring forms of love we can experience. Every decision made, every mistake faced, every painful revelation paved a path toward maturity. Emma emerged stronger, Chloe more aware, and both more united than ever. In the end, what seemed like just a story of intrigue and disappointment became a reminder that true bonds don't break under sabotage or masks. They hold firm, support you, and show you the way when everything else seems to fall apart. If this story touched you, stick with us. There are many more life and love lessons ready to transform how you see your own relationships. Because deep down, it's when we learn to love consciously and value loyal friendships that we discover what it truly means to live fully. This channel is just getting started, and you can be part of this growth. Support our work so we can bring you more emotional stories like Emma's. Subscribe, share with your friends, and hit like. It truly makes all the difference as we keep going on this journey together.